Four hoes, they bout to wreck shit like Marco. Addicted to the Giants like it's Netflix and Narcos. The CEO making big moves as per usual. Captain Negative calling everybody delusional. This podcast is number one. Like when you take a piss, so share the link and pass it. Like Big Jamaican spliffs and Mr. Make-A-Wish. The sophisticated click, I spit offensive lines. Now Tim can take a sip of some beer because he likes the taste of it, right? Don't forget the New York Giants beat the Patriots twice. The sickest dudes eating chips and salsa like it's Victor Cruz. Win or lose, always gonna root for Big Blue. It's true. This a classic show. Tyree, catch it, bro. Play a drinking game while you listen. They call it Plaxico. Take a couple shots. If it's funny, you can rewind. To bleed blue means it's in their jeans like Levi's. Eli, man in the shit, just like a sailor. Captain, we attacking bum rush like Lauren Taylor. Podcast on point, the sharpest arrows. BBG stay gritty like Mark Bavaro.
All right.
Tim. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Let's go frontward facing, my friend. Look at this. As soon as we put our beautiful mugs in here, people jumping into the chat already. All right.
You're welcome, everybody.
Can everyone? Let me know if you can hear us. Let me know if we're coming in loud and clearly.
God damn it.
I will wait for that confirmation. My name is Marco, here live in New York. Tim is from South Carolina.
North Carolina.
No,
North Carolina. I'm in North Carolina, man.
Did I say South Carolina last week?
You say Carolina. It's fine.
Vito, can you hear us? Are we coming in loud and clear? And what's up to you? He wants to know if we're up for that 11-5 record.
11-5? Of course.
I'm not a mathematician, but 11-5. Hold on. 11-5. Hold on. I have a new friend here. I hooked something else.
It would be a 16 game.
Hold on. Let me ask my friend. Alexa, what's the New York Giants record?
The Giants are third in the NFC East at 1-5.
Oh, what? So 1-5 for us.
So we're going to streak it.
This might answer your
Call
question.
straight.
1 + 5 is 6.
Thank you, Alexa. 1 + 5 is 6. Thank you.
1 + 5 is 6.
Thank you. Yes, I know. 1 + 5 is 6.
1 + 5 is 6.
Alexa, shut off. Just because I need to fact check myself sometimes on the podcast.
Now, Marco.
Yes.
Let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling after the win?
I feel like we're a very flawed team. How are you feeling after the win?
I think we have Super Bowl now. Super. Honestly, from looking at the rest of the division, I really think we have a good shot of winning this division.
Do you want to win the division? I can't. Tim.
It would. I understand it'd be good and bad at the same time. But
I'll let you finish and then I'll go.
Well, here's the deal, and this is what I was trying to explain to Captain Negative over the weekend. Was if you're going to change a culture, you need to win for these guys to buy in. You know what? Wins are going to make it to where, okay, this coach doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm going to keep going as far as he's going to push me. And that's that's what Judge is doing right now. And that's what I'm not going to say we're not a playoff team. We shouldn't be. But there's a chance we're going to be because this division's horrible. And would it be if we made playoffs, would it be the worst thing in the world? Because honestly, once playoffs start, anything can happen. You don't know who we're playing, when we're playing them, who's injured. whatever, especially this year. But I wanted to get this culture changed, and that's what's going to have to happen. And wins are going to have to happen for that culture to change. I will never be mad at a win for the Giants.
Mm-hmm. All right. How do I put it to you? Tim, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. All right. Let's break it down really easy. Really easy.
Yeah, let's go.
What's the maximum number? No, what's the minimum number of wins the Giants could have and still win the NFC East and make it to the playoffs?
The way it's looking right now, I think we could possibly win at the most 8, but I think you could almost win with 7.
So you think 8-8, and the
could
Giants
win this division? Yes.
But so not even 7-9. You think 7?
I'm trying. That's happened once. That I remember with Seattle and the Rams. Who ended up. I forgot what the tiebreaker was, but whatever. It was a 7-9 team.
Yeah, Seattle, and they won a playoff game that year also, I believe.
Yes, they beat New Orleans because Marshawn. That was when the earth quaked. When Marshawn had a huge run.
Right.
Now
right.
that's my point. So let's say a miracle happens. We get to 8-8. And we win the division. You know, we're more than likely to be playing NFC West team, which we've been playing all season anyway.
Okay.
So more than likely, either probably Seattle or the Rams.
How did we fare against backup NFC West team so far?
Well, San Francisco, we played horrible. Rams, we were in it.
Okay. So,
and I honestly think it would come down to if we won the division. I'm not saying we're going to, but if we won at 8-8, I think we would play the Rams. Because I think Seattle's going to end up winning that division.
Right, I think Seattle is. So if the Giants are 7-9 and they win the division and they're in the playoffs, does Dave Gettleman get fired?
I think he's gone no matter what. If there's already smoke to that, and there's usually nothing comes out in Giants out of Giants organizations with stuff like that. So I think he's gone regardless. I think he's up there in age. He might just say, "Okay, don't fire me. I'm gonna retire anyway." But if they do make the playoffs, the thing that everybody keeps going back to all Gettleman's mistakes. Saquon, that's debatable. I don't care what you say. That's debatable. Leonard Williams. The one thing I will say on Leonard Williams, take out the money. Yeah, he's absolutely overpaid. But it's only on 1 year, and he has 3 sacks right now. That's more than Chase Young.
What about the 2 picks that you had to give up to get him?
Let's say, so he's on pace for, I think it's 8 sacks, 8 or 9 sacks. He gets 9 sacks, and if he resigns with us on let's say a reasonable deal, then whatever on the picks. It's a 3rd and a 5th. Now, the 3rd possibly could have been something, possibly. But, let's be reasonable. 5th round pick is usually a backup.
True.
So, if you get a good pass rusher who is in his prime, it's not like he's, I'm going to have one good year. I'm 29, I'm 30 or something like that. The kid's 25.
Right.
And it sounds like he's a leader in this locker room, and also sounds like he's having more fun than I've ever heard him talking when he was a Jet.
He's also getting paid the most money he's ever gotten in the NFL so far.
True, but he wasn't getting cheap. He was a top 6 pick. It's not like he was getting nothing. No,
he was, and I like him as a player. I don't like how they got him. I don't like how they had to franchise him.
Exactly. As far as the trade, it is what it is. But I like the way he's playing. I always liked him as a Jet, and I actually wish he was a Giant when Jets really jumped in front of us to get him.
So my question is that it might have been the 5th round pick that's probably going to be a backup, and the 3rd round pick third round picks
could have been something that's
could have been
wild
something.
card.
But you're handcuffing yourself because you can't now. It's increasingly hard to move around in the draft if you're going to trade other picks if you're giving away all your assets.
Well, that's the thing with I don't think. Well, personally, I think Dave don't care about that because he's not trying to move up.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, I don't think he's. Actually, he's moved up before. He doesn't move back. Whatever.
Brandon Bull, you're not getting.
But you know what? The one thing I will give Dave, and he sticks to his board.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that used to irritate him with Jerry. If he missed on the board, like let's say when what was it? Leonard Floyd went back in that draft.
Right.
Jerry Reese got all, perplexed and ended up getting Eli Apple, even though he was lower on the draft board. But whatever. As far as that,
chasing the draft. I know that, and he did that.
Chasing the draft, but he also did. But they did prove me this offseason is he picked the right free agents. Everybody he's brought in this year, I'm not saying past years, I'm saying this season, has been an impact player on this team. And literally, all the people that bitch about Bradbury might be the best corner in the league right now.
All right.
And again, you got to remember, our defense could have been even better because we still have McKinney coming back. And that's a lot of talent right there.
All right.
And none of us knew DeAndre Baker was going to get mad about losing Madden and rob everybody.
All right, let's get to a few of the comments. Gary on YouTube, no way the Giants win more than 5. Can they make the playoffs with 5? Remaining. Are you ready for the remaining games?
Here's the deal. It's we got Philly. Then we play Washington again, don't we?
Philly, Tampa,
then
Washington, Philly, Bengals, Seattle, Arizona, Browns, Ravens, Cowboys is a closer.
So we already know Cowboys is a possibility. Philadelphia, we're gonna find out tomorrow. How we match up with Philly.
All right, so say Philly. We'll put the Philly one on a pause because I think it's going to be close.
It's always going to be close with the rivals.
Tampa Bay, who do you think would be favored?
Tampa Bay is going to win. More than likely, Tampa Bay wins that game.
Washington, second time around. Who do you think is going to? Who would you favor?
I think we beat Washington worse. I don't see Washington. I don't think Washington's that bad, but I think they're a year away. And actually, with our offensive line, they gave up 8 pressures that whole game, and we're only getting better as far as offensive line. They're growing together. Knock on wood, no injuries happen.
Right. Philly, second time around.
Again, Phillies. I would love to say Phillies are guaranteed wins, but we never beat Philly. I just was looking at stat. We haven't won in Philly since 2013. I know. And we haven't beat Philly in 4 years.
We get crushed. Philly has taken over my most hated team. Then we're at Cincinnati. Winnable.
Yeah, absolutely.
At Seattle. Destroyed.
Most likely Seattle's gonna beat us, but I don't like. I really think Giants can stick with almost everybody, but when it comes down to our weakness on the offensive end is gonna end up hurt. Those teams are gonna steer in the wrong direction.
at Arizona, not at Arizona. Arizona at home. Doesn't matter. No fans. Cleveland at home. Baltimore away. Dallas back at home.
Cleveland's out of those games. Cleveland's the one that I think we can win. Is more likely to win, and I obviously, especially Dallas is already imploding now. Wait till what their record is at that last game.
I don't know. I don't see it.
Well, look at this. Look at this way, Marco. Dallas is already going out in the press, ripping up the coach now, and they have 2 wins. We're praising Joe Judge. Our players are praising Joe Judge and like what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big difference in culture. We're going in the right direction. Dallas is going in the opposite direction. And the funny thing is, I think they actually bailed us out. I think we would have went McCarthy.
that was a rumor that McCarthy was high on the list, but I don't think it was. I don't think it was because they had Rule, they had McCarthy, they had a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
I don't see it, Tim. I think we get one. I think we'll get either an Eagle or the other Cowboy game. I think Washington's going to play us tough for the second time around. Tampa, I don't see us winning. Possible for us to beat the Bengals. Possible for us to beat the Browns. So max, I think I got 4 wins.
So we go 5. Honestly, if you want to go long-term success, and that just not be like, okay, let's try to make the playoffs at 7-1, 9-0 like that. Best case scenario is we win 5 to 6 games, have a top draft pick, and really build on what's going on right now. That honestly be the best thing long term.
So Brent is saying he has us beating Philly once, beating the Skins another time, beating Dallas once, beating Cincy, and beating the Browns.
So
that
6.
Makes it 1. That makes it 6. That's not. I don't think 6 is going to get you to the playoffs.
No, but the thing is, Dave Gettleman's probably gone with 6 wins anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost sounds like the job's already done. If it's already coming out now, I was like, we're not going to go on this historic Jim Fossil kind of winning streak.
Right. They're already putting GM names out there. It seems like it's pretty much done. It's going to take a lot of health. It's going to take a lot of luck. It's going to take a lot of coaching for the Giants to really do any sort of run where they're going to be. Realistically, if you look at it, we're 1-5. In any other division, we're dead last. Just because everyone else sucks around us doesn't mean that we're good.
No, it's not about being like we all knew going into the season was going to be a rebuild, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, all the people complaining that we're losing and all this stuff, what'd you expect?
Yeah, this is a rebuild year. This is rebuild version 2.0. And I don't think we're not getting better. Looking at his first round picks, they're suspect. Or they haven't proven themselves. And I'll give Andrew Thomas a pass because he's only 6 games. And he's looked decent. Honestly, he's looked decent.
Yeah, I don't think as far as them saying he's bad enough to bench, I don't think that at all. Saquon,
All-Pro, was a reach. Danny Dimes, I'm not overwhelmingly going head over heels for him. Do I root for him? Yes. Is he the guy? I'm not sure. Dexter Lawrence, okay, he's a good player. Yeah. DeAndre Baker, not even on the team.
Yeah.
Did I miss anyone? Baker, Dex.
First round picks.
No, that's everyone.
Nah. Yeah.
So that's a lot of draft capital.
Well, and maybe DeAndre Baker, that is what it is.
And one guy who's born like all pro, and he's at running back, who's probably going to have to split time and has been injured twice.
Well,
And,
you know,
and, he,
as
gave
far
him,
as
and he gave him no help. And he did the same thing to the quarterback.
well, technically, he was given help because, let's put it this way, we had no running game before Saquon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for years, we didn't have any running game. And we were running the same stuff we were doing that's coming this year. We're getting sacked because no one, you know, is respecting the run. Thank God, Devontae Freeman's starting to come along a little bit. He's not going to turn the world on fire. He's not going to be the top back in the league, but he's at least a threat.
All right,
But
Bruce
the other problem is we don't have wide receivers that are threats right now. Slayton's good.
Mm-hmm.
Slayton's good, but he's not a number one. He's a good number two.
He's a 1.5.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I agree.
And honestly,
Golden Tate, Golden Tate, MIA.
Tate's done. The date's done, but that's what
Evan
happens when
Ingram,
people age.
Evan Ingram, MIA.
I don't know if that's Garrett or that's Evan Ingram's problem, but
Sterling Shepard.
I'm over Evan Ingram at this point.
Sterling Shepard, MIA via injury.
Yep.
All right.
He'll be back supposedly this week.
Right, Bruce Bain. I understand we have a O-line not a strong suit, but we have to start taking shots down the field. That's Bruce on YouTube. It's hard to take shots.
The who?
There we go.
He's like, I totally understand as far as taking shots downfield, and when he does get a little time, he throws a beautiful pass for a touchdown to Slayton, which was a 40-yard pass, or give or take. And he's got the talent there, but the problem is we need separation from our receivers, and we're not getting that. And Tate should get traded. I don't think anybody's going to trade for him, but he should be gone because the fact is, it's not even his career's done.
Yeah, there's no trade value, and for the Giants, I think we mentioned this last week. I don't see them trading anyone. I don't see any move. It's going to be difficult. I'm pretty sure he's going to have to get approval from I
saw the rumor today, but I think it was somebody just bullshitting.
Yeah, no, it's bullshitting.
It was literally. I was okay. It was literally Evan Ingram and a future draft pick for Isaiah Simmons. Now, just for curiosity, and I know it's not true. There's no way. But Arizona's not using Isaiah Simmons at all.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
It's just weird. It's like they can't find a spot for him. Honestly, I think he would work perfect in our kind of defense because Graham has guys doing different stuff all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that trade happened, would you be mad or happy?
Evan Ingram,
a future draft pick for Isaiah Simmons.
Are we talking fifth?
Let's say, not even this year's draft. Let's say a 4th round pick, not this year's draft, next year's draft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would do it because I don't think Arizona would do it.
Well, I don't think Arizona would do it either. I mean, unless they gave up on Isaiah Simmons that quick, which that would almost put up some red flags for me as well. Right. But that's a rumor.
Oh, hold on. Oh, hello.
Oh, hey, can you hear and see me?
I can hear and see you.
Yes.
Tim, you can hear and see him.
I'm going to prop this computer up on top of something.
Will, can you hear Tim?
Unfortunately, no. Of course, I can hear Tim. And you know what, Tim? I want to hear you talk because the last time I was on with Mr. Wonderful, with Mr. Happy,
you and Captain Negative. I already been on shows with both of you. I understand. There's not much time between you two.
I think it was mostly him. If you're watching, I do think it was mostly you, but I was not. A couple times I said
mostly him.
I said, Tim, what do you think? But if you remember, you had technical difficulties, which is why we couldn't hear you.
Right.
Yeah. Now I'm just going off the phone. For some reason, the phone works better than computer.
You guys ready to start talking?
We've been talking playoffs versus non-playoffs, rebuild versus let's go for it.
Let's go for 6-10, 1 loss in the playoffs, and screw ourselves in the draft.
That's exactly what we said.
Yes.
I think it's crossed my mind, at least at this point. My good friend Jack, who calls up a lot or writes in or whatever, he's actually joined us. He's like, at this point, do you just want to go try to just win this damn division and build a little bit of confidence or something? At this point, I have zero rooting interest. I kind of only, if they win, they win. But to me, the only way I want to see them win right now is if they win because of Jones. If Jones has some killer games and they get some wins and they get to 6-10, it's worth it if he starts to show what he can be. Mm-hmm. But if they're going to do what they did this past weekend and win on like a last-second failed 2-point conversion after getting a fumble recovery, like that's such a fluky way to win. It's like all we didn't like show that we have like a future because of those fluky plays, and we just hurt ourselves in the draft by probably 2 or 3 picks. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, I disagree with that to a point. I know what you're saying. I agree with it, but
we had to make the stop.
The fluky plays happen for good defenses. I definitely think our defense is improving.
Yep.
Now, would I love to see Daniel Jones start improving and get off the sophomore slump that he's on? Absolutely. But he also needs help, and he has none.
Yeah, I'm gonna just take 5 seconds here to readjust everything. Talk amongst yourselves.
Sure.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. Damian Rantley was our number 3 for the first 3-4 games. He's
not even on
somewhat. I think he just got signed to a practice squad. This week. That tells you what the kind of talent we're dealing with right now.
Right. So hold on, let's get to a few of these comments. This is Danny Isaac on YouTube. Is Bradbury the best CB this season? I think yes. I
don't know who. Tell me somebody else is playing better.
Right.
I mean, honestly, I don't even know who's on our team by far. But I think in the NFL, if he's not 1, he's 2.
Angel DeLuca on Twitter. Is Jackson going to play? I think Deshaun Jackson she's talking about. I think he is going to play this week.
Yeah, he is playing this. Jackson and Lane Johnson are supposedly coming back this week or Thursday.
We have Thomas Ryan on Facebook. Tim is prepping his voodoo dolls for tomorrow. Tim is prepping his voodoo dolls for tomorrow. Did you have you heard of Will? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Have you heard of Tim's new voodoo doll and black magic that he's acquired?
I have not. Is there a specific player that I should guess? Or person?
I bet you could guess the player.
It's a giant?
No, it happened already.
Is it a giant?
He wished an injury on a player.
Is it a giant?
It's not a giant.
Okay. Darnold, Becton, what team? What division? Eagles?
NFC East.
Well, Chase Young. I mean, am I real? Oh, Dak.
Yes.
The preview, Tim is like, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. We're going to injure Dak. And boom, next week, someone's like, Tim has voodoo dolls because he predicted they were going to injure Jack last week, and that's what's happened. So now Tim has been dipping into the black magic, into the dark arts.
I missed that play when it happened, and my parents called me like, big Giants fans to talk about it. And I see the replay, and real quick I go, that's his foot. That's his foot came out of his shoe. That's why it's facing the wrong way. And then it's like, nah, that was his ankle.
Oh my god!
I thought the whole thing. I thought it was just his shoe came off.
To clarify, Tim was like, "I don't want to see anyone get injured for any serious injury. I just wanted to see him, sit out."
Yeah, I
for
wasn't
a
trying
game."
to injure him I wasn't trying to injure him for his career, but we went back to the show and I checked to see if I knew I said it, but I actually went like detail. I was like, yeah, Andy Dalton's gonna come in. We're taking Dak out, and actually, I almost want to say I said Dallas would win.
I think you did.
Well, all right. So now that we know you have this power, we have to use this wisely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you never know what it's going to run out.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Right.
Yes, Spider-Man.
We should come up with. Well, that's actually Uncle Phil or whatever his name was. What was his name?
Uncle Ben? No, not Uncle Ben.
Uncle Phil.
Can't say Uncle Ben anymore.
Now it's like Family Matters.
No, wait. Wait.
Oh, no, that's
no, it was.
Bel-Air.
Was it Ben?
I think it was Ben, right?
It's Ben. Yeah, it's Ben.
It was Uncle Ben?
Yeah, it wasn't the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Alexa, who's Spider-Man's uncle?
According to Wikipedia, Spider-Man is a fictional superhero created by writer-editor Stan Lee and writer-artist Steve Ditko.
Marco, is that your computer folk?
Book Amazing Fantasy number 15 in the Silver Age of comic books.
All right, Alexa, shut off.
Appears in American
Speaking of amazing fantasy.
Shut up, Alexa.
Speaking of amazing fantasy, imagine if the Jets win 2 games and miss out on Trevor.
Oh my god, I can't see him winning 2 games. The first thing.
I mean,
well,
so
have you seen the rumor?
Well, that Trevor wouldn't come out.
Darnold getting traded to Dallas.
For what purpose? Why would Dallas do that?
I don't know. To try to win this season.
To try to win with one of the worst quarterbacks in football. Andy Dalton's just as good as Sam Darnold.
Hey, I'm not. I'm just.
Don't kill him. Don't kill him for the rumors. He's not.
Yeah, I'm just telling you the rumors. So it ain't me doing it. I'm all for the red rifle.
Tim, I didn't get on you for simply messaging the rumor. But then when I said why would they do that, you seemed to justify it to win this year. Like it seemed like you were on board with that. And that is where I was thinking.
Well, I was Jerry mode.
Okay.
So,
I got it.
That's what Jerry would think of doing.
So wait a minute. So okay. We're talking about the Giants and whether or not you think win a little bit, whatever. Let's start here. I think the Giants are going to win 4 games, give or take a game. Maybe 3 or 4. I would aim toward. What are you guys at right now?
4 more games or 4 total?
Total.
That's what I have too.
4 total.
I originally thought it was going to be 5 give or take 1 either way. Then we went 0-5, and I was thinking I can see 2 wins.
Yeah.
Maybe we could squeak out 4.
Tim?
I'm thinking
7.
More like 5, but probably 6.
Tim, I will bet you $50. $50 Venmo that the Giants don't. Well, I don't want to bet. I don't want to be rooting for them to lose games. I'm not going to do that. Although I read,
don't be those fans on Twitter.
No,
I already shamed them.
Recent bets, by the way, include I won $50 from somebody who bet me that Chase Young would not go top 5 in the draft.
First of all, that person's dumb.
And my dad just won $100 from somebody who, before the season started, the baseball season, said the Mets would win the World Series. My dad gave me 3-1 odds. So, and they were in last place in the NL East.
So don't bet with a Presti, huh?
Apparently it's just no, and
we all have our powers.
We all have our powers. Unfortunately, I don't gamble, so I don't use mine. But if we had to use your voodoo doll, I'm thinking if the Jets got Trevor Lawrence, maybe just give it a little one of those.
So what if the Jets are clearly in the front running for the draft, for the number 1 pick in the draft? Yeah. I already hear Roddy White is telling them if the Jets are the top pick, stay in for another year.
But let me ask you a question, because I want to get your guys' opinion on this, honestly. That doesn't happen. So there's a rumor Mike Greenberg, who's a big Jets fan, said Trevor Lawrence shouldn't come out if it's the Jets, right? So, okay, realistic options would be go back to Clemson for your senior year, refuse to play and pull an Eli with the Chargers,
Right.
or sit out for a year and prepare for the NFL, which for a quarterback, I don't know, that might be riskier than other positions where it's strictly physical. I think being out of the game for a full year as a quarterback might hurt you. But my thing is, it never happens. Every year, the best quarterback goes to the worst franchise and the worst team. I know Joe Burrow's from Ohio, so that's a little different, but it just doesn't happen. When has it ever happened besides like Herschel Walker or something? Or was it Bo Jackson or Herschel Walker, someone in the 80s? But it really doesn't happen. So do we really think that's going to happen?
It happens
It's
every
New
once in
York.
a while.
It's New York. It's New York, right? There's something maybe about that. They're going to, I don't know.
And they'll change up everything anyway. There's going to be a new coach. There's going to be a whole thing. Trevor Lawrence will spin it when he gets picked by the Jets that he always wanted to go there anyway.
Right.
When he's probably hoping otherwise.
But do you really think that there's any chance he wouldn't come out, or he would just pull an Eli? He doesn't have Archie.
No, there's no way he would not come out. Now refusing to play to somebody, possibly. It's happened. It happens almost every, I would say, about 10 years.
But give me examples.
Justin Herbert didn't want to come out and play the extra year.
Yeah, that asshole. He was scared to play for the Giants.
Dude, that's much different. Justin Herbert was not at the Lawrence's appeal. He cannot go any higher than 1. Herbert was never really going to be number 1. Herbert could have helped himself his senior year. Plus, they said he's a homebody. He's kind of quiet. His brother was at school. He's very never been. So that's like different. Trevor Lawrence, since like freshman year, you felt like the kid was like, all right, pros, bring it on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't see it happen. But I mean, are we all in agreement that it's basically 100% chance the Jets are going to get to number 1? I mean, I looked at the schedule. I don't see them, honestly. I think they'd be.
They're not winning
if they win one game. The only game they have like the Chargers if they catch, Herbert has a bad rookie game, but they're going to win 1 or less games. They're going to get the 1 pick. The only competition would be maybe, who do you think? Maybe the Redskins?
I don't even think that. I don't think that. I think Jets are going to. With the trade deadline coming up, I think Jets are going to clean house. So, they're not going to establish themselves to even have a winning team or even try to win.
Yeah.
Just there's so much infighting, coaches and everything going at each other. It's a mess. I don't see a win. Maybe there's one win that, a team doesn't show up at all, overlooks them, and then they get like a stupid.
Hey, do you know who could be the Jets' biggest ally? A little guy named coronavirus. A forfeit from the Patriots if it having some dust ups with it. The Jets could get like 2 or 3 forfeit wins, man.
How funny would that be if they had like a 3-win season because of forfeits?
They wouldn't get the win though.
Tim, we don't know. Tim, use your voodoo doll to inflict non-lethal corona on the Jets' opponents, and the Jets could end up with like 5 wins.
There's the NFL coming out saying that there's all these false positives. As a person in healthcare, I've never seen so many false positives by one.
Oh, it's like they're staring at the people going, "It's false." No,
right.
I know, no, it's false.
Yeah,
it's false.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about. I was feeling really good. Like before this past weekend, I had this whole plan to get the Giants to 8 wins next year. Next year. And I'm kind of like now, because I'm thinking to myself, the defense is solid.
Mm-hmm.
And the offense is 31st in the NFL. Them and the Jets in every category, the worst.
Yeah.
Then at least you can allocate all of your offseason to the offense. And I know like some people, my friend Jack is like, oh, a cornerback would make our D complete, like fine. And I'm Mr. Edge Rusher, but when you have a decent defense and the worst offense in football, and if you believe in Jones as the guy, and you have some weapons some places and 2 decent guards, like you're kind of like you're too good. Let's say one of Thomas or Pert turns out to be good. You're kind of one tackle, one center, and one top receiver away, as strange as it sounds, from kind of having a complete offense, right? Like
Yeah, I
really
agree with
good
that.
tackle, a really good. It's just that their tackles are so bad, their receivers get such little separation, and their center is playing so poorly that it's just so bad. But I feel like, for instance, when I thought maybe they could draft Sewell, who we've recently found out his name is what, Panay Sewell, because I thought it was Peony
Yeah.
Swell, and I know Marco, you were loving it when his name was Peony Swell, because that's what happened to us when we thought about getting him, our Peony Swell. So, but is that a medical term? I know you're in healthcare.
Medical term.
Okay, there's a false positive. So I was like, if they could draft him, bring in a center, which there are going to be a lot of good free agent centers this year. If Thomas or Pert can move to right and somebody wins out, maybe the other one becomes a guard or backs up or takes over for Zeitler when he leaves, whatever. And you can draft in the second round a really good wide receiver, or bring in a Juju Smith-Schuster, or maybe an Allen, Robinson, or whatever you can do with your money if you get rid of Tate. I'm like, that kind of completes it. And all of a sudden, if you look at Jones, if you believe, I don't want to say completes it like they're going to be great, but completes it like they should be the actual offense. And
Yeah.
I looked at, it's all contingent upon whether or not you think Jones is the guy. But realistically, guys, if they don't draft in the top few picks, they're probably going to, do you think they would stick with Jones if they have a new GM, they pick like sixth, and Justin Fields and Hanson,
Dakota kid.
is, Trevor Lawrence is gone. Do you think they would take
Lance? No, I don't think. I think they're sticking with Daniel Jones.
Even a new GM?
All the analysts, all the prognosticators, there's not one that tears Daniel Jones up.
Because here's what I was going to say to you now is I did a little research. I don't have a PFF subscription, but my buddy Jack does. Shout out to Jack. And I do look up a little bit myself. But, when you look at the grades that PFF does give to Joe, I mean, these are the PFF grades for QBs drafted in the last 3 years. So of all the young quarterbacks, and I did this research myself. Number one right now is Allen. Josh Allen's at an 86. Well, I'm not even doing the numbers. Josh Allen. Next is Lamar Jackson. Those guys are above 80. Then you've got Kyler Murray at 76.7. And then you've got Jones at 76.0. At number 4, out of this whole list, below him is Burrow, Herbert, Minshew, Darnold, Mayfield, Locke, and Haskins. So he's in that top group with Allen, Jackson, Murray, and Jones. Like, I think based on the fact that he had games last year that were record-setting for rookies, based on, when he has time and has a receiver that has even a half yard of distance between himself and the corner, I do think he's shown just enough that you can build around him, even though the fumbles and not closing games out might be an issue. What do you guys think about Jones?
Go ahead, Marco.
He's not. I'm like rooting for him. I'm rooting for him hardcore. Especially last year, it was really exciting seeing him in there, coming back. He's either having a sophomore slump or he might not be the guy.
So there's no option that the team is just that bad, and that's the reason for his sophomore slump?
I definitely think I don't think he has the playmakers at this point. I mean, who's getting separation for him?
He doesn't have a lot of help. But it's not like this guy was a prime collegiate athlete who was, a quarterback who was unbelievable. He was middle of the road with the team that didn't give him a lot of help there, but it's that football program isn't dynamic. I don't see that many guys who are mediocre in college lightening up when they get into the NFL, especially at quarterback.
But when you're the first ever rookie to have 4 games, 4 touchdowns and no interceptions, and the first rookie ever to have 5 touchdowns in a game and no picks, and this is all on a bad team with injured players all around you, like, that's the difference. I think a lot of people are saying Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones. They're both struggling. They both have nothing around them. But to me, Darnold is in his 3rd year and has never hit the highs that Jones has shown at times in just his 2nd year. And so
Very
that's
true.
why I think Darnold, I do believe you should move on from, whereas I think it's too early, unless a guy like Lawrence comes along, to move on from Jones. I think it is possible
I
to
agree.
win in the playoffs with Daniel Jones.
I agree.
I
But
agree as well.
But his picks and the timing of his turnovers are crushing me. They're
Yeah,
literally
he's trying to do too much,
crushing.
but he's only literally hit his second season as a starter, like
And
just recently. I think he's in the
I know.
17th
Like
game or
18
whatever.
games, yeah.
Like I said,
Yeah,
I'm trying to root for him. I really am.
Yeah.
But like he breaks out of the pocket, and the first thing I'm thinking is like, oh my god.
Well, he has a fumble when he runs.
Hold on to that ball.
and the bad part is he's our leading rusher.
Yeah.
He's our leading rusher. He's doing it all by himself. And I think he's almost putting that pressure on.
Let me ask you guys.
Let me
ask you guys. When we had the last series and we were down there, we were down there on whatever it was, in the red zone, deep in the red zone. Were you worried about a pick six?
No.
Always.
When he took the ball back.
I am right now.
No.
I just
you had enough. You had enough confidence, and I've noticed he's much better out of the red zone, like from like the 40 to 30 yard strike distance, where he has more room to grow. Once it gets a little compressed, he seems to be throwing more picks.
If you look at it that way, though, to go to the playmakers, when you have no separation, and you get no separation, especially in the red zone, there's a lot less room for mistakes or them to even fit that ball in.
Statistics show that he is under pressure more than any quarterback, him and Darnold, that he has less time unimpeded in the pocket than anybody, and the Giants receivers are somewhere in like the bottom 5 or 8, something like that, in separation. So
where are the hot mollies?
If you statistics show when Tom Brady gets sacked 3 times in a game, he's a 500 quarterback, but he's got the winningest record in history because they keep him upright. So I think it's a little bit of everything. But I got to say, though, honestly, and I was anti the Daniel Jones pick. I still stand by what I say, that they should have taken Josh Allen, and this year they could have had Herbert probably if they wanted to. I'd be much happier with that. That's what I wanted from the beginning. That was my 2-year plan. But I'm not really afraid for some reason when he goes back to throw. I'm more like, oh, here goes the pocket breakdown. Are they going to strip him of the ball? Than I am like, oh, is he going to throw a pick? But I did say for the first time recently, a few weeks ago, I was on the show and somebody said, oh, he's not clutch. And I said, it's too early to say that. His first game ever was an 18-point comeback. But I am just now starting to say it seems like in the drives that are the most crucial in the game, the Giants go 3 and out. And again, it's hard to decipher Jones versus
the team,
the team and whatnot.
And to be honest, guys, we're also going back to Eli days. Because we remember when Eli was playing, if it was fourth quarter, he had the ball 2 minutes to go.
Yes,
he was going down the field. It was almost guaranteed he's getting a score.
I see.
And we had a lot of Eli fans, so it was like now we're comparing that to Jones. That's what's going to happen.
That's the thing with Eli was he had a very good offensive line for most of his career. In the first first 10 years, he would have games where he'd be like 8 for 27 passing. And then in the fourth quarter, he'd go, 5 for 6 on a 90-yard drive and win the game. And you're just even within his first few games, he was playing terrible, but like still pulled a few of them out. The team was more sound around him, and he had a sick defensive front around him and everything. But it's the ultimate team game, right? It's hard to decipher what is the QB versus what is other things. But I, as a guy who did not like Daniel Jones, I still feel like maybe we can win with him. I think it's a bit early to depart. And I don't know. I guess you start looking at the draft. And I think if we can't, another debate is people saying, well, we got Thomas, we got Pert. What if they start coming along? I wouldn't take Sewell. Unless those guys both emerge as studs by the end of this year, in my opinion.
No, you take an automatic left tackle.
If you have the chance to take a left tackle that some people are saying is the best they've ever seen, 5 years from now, if you've got
because
Pro
you could,
Bowl left tackle. You're not going to give a shit that you wasted a pick on Andrew Thomas. Okay.
yeah, because you could always get something for a decent left tackle. I'm gonna
And
leave.
honestly, and
I'm gonna
Thomas
leave.
could go to right, Perk could go to guard, whatever
Yeah, I think
situation they want
Thomas
to
is
do.
more of a guard.
I'm,
because Perk's
I'm gonna
long.
leave a link in the description if anyone wants to in the chat if anyone wants to join on. I see your boy Jax is there too.
Jason Garrett has been terrible. Yeah. Well, we talk about the offense. I want to ask you guys though. It looks like, in my opinion, if we win, the 4 games that I think we're going to win, because our schedule is, I don't want to say cake because it makes it sound like then we'll win, but like we're terrible. But the schedule is kind of bad too in the next few games.
Mhm.
The 4 games we think we're going to win are the 13 games Tim thinks the Giants are going to win this year. We're probably going to miss.
We're speaking.
Might wanna-
We're probably going to miss. I know the math doesn't hold up. We're probably going to miss on Sewell. And the quarterback.
I know we're gonna miss Holland. I don't think we'll be in the top 5.
Right. I'm thinking we pick somewhere like number 6-ish or 5 or 6, something like that. So the question is, do you trade that? Do you take a second-rate tackle? Do you take like a Creed Humphrey who might be like 15? Do you take a wide receiver?
Entering the chat.
Possibly if he gets his 6. I would say
Flip your phone.
What's up, man?
Gentlemen,
Jack,
I
you
would
want to
say-
flip your phone?
what'd you say?
Patrick Surtain at 6, if you would.
Oh, don't, because okay, my boy Jackson to back you up.
There we go.
How can you take the defense with the number 1 pick if
You take the best talent available, and if he's there, you solidify that 2 spot, which is where everybody's throwing because Bradbury's playing elite cornerback play.
What if the best talent available is a running back?
Well, it's not.
Well, there's nobody in this
No,
draft
but
that's gonna do that.
it annoys me, Marco. I need you because the 2 of them with the corners. You have to consider need. You have to.
I think we're okay at corner.
Are you better off having 2 great centers or 2 good tackles?
Right.
So, Will, tell me who you're picking top 10 if it's not Sewell.
Yeah.
Who is it?
There is no tackle, only Sewell. Anybody?
If you can't get him, who are you taking?
Nobody's got the Ghostbusters reference?
No.
Zero. There is
I've seen it
no.
like once.
So wait. If it's top 10, 2.
I'm trading the pick.
We think.
Well, say you can. That's not. I would love to trade the pick, but that takes 2 sides.
Honestly, at this point, I'd go Jamar Chase, a wide receiver, because God knows we need a playmaker.
I mean, it kills me, but I kinda get it because again, no matter how you twist it, if you have an average defense and the worst offense in football with a quarterback on the brink of having his career vanish before it ever starts, you can't take defense with the number 1 pick. You just can't. You have to use that pick somewhere on offense.
But there is free agency before the draft.
That's true,
nice.
and that's true. Absolutely.
And let's say the rumors of Juju or Robinson coming to us actually happens.
Right.
We actually have a number 1 wide receiver.
I would take a center.
So,
I would take Creed Humphrey. I would take a center.
I would not take a center top 6.
It's an offensive lineman. Our center is the worst lineman in football right now. Pressure comes from the middle. People are stacking the D tackles. It's the whole Aaron Donald thing. You'd be better off having a solid, even if he just turns out to be good. You'd be better off with that than having a defense. We're not the 2000 Ravens. We're not going to win with our D. We're not that. You know what I'm saying?
But realistically, they're sticking with Gates. They gave him the extension.
I don't know.
He's getting better on a weekly basis. Now, Grant, he's just learning the position. First time he's ever played it. And they gave him a 2-year extension? So, they're probably going to stick with Gates.
Tell me about Gates. Somebody tell me about Gates.
I think he's an undrafted free agent
Wisconsin.
like 2 years ago.
Undrafted free agent. And that's the future of the Giants line. Marco, hit me with some common sense, will you?
No, I agree. I don't think Gates is going to be the guy.
I think Zeitler. I think we have to rebuild the whole middle of the offensive line.
Yeah, I think Zeitler might be.
Zeitler's gone. He's going to be gone. Hernandez
He's got 1 more year.
Hernandez has kept taking steps backwards. I thought he looked very good his rookie year. His sophomore year was okay, and just he's been sliding back the whole way.
But okay, Zeitler and Hernandez are at least their average guards. We right now have a way below average center and 2 slightly below average tackles. Mm-hmm. Now tackle is real. We don't know what's going to happen tackle wise. I think
Pert's playing this week.
We're hoping that it's Pert and Thomas, and that's boom. Those are our tackles. But
yeah, if Pert's playing that well, why not throw him in there?
I gotta say,
But everyone has him penciled in. He's played how many snaps last week?
25.
You're basing this off of thank you, Jack, for that. I could have asked Alexa too, but
yeah, that went so well last time.
Kept on telling me 6 + 9.
He'll be in the rotation again. He's not going to start the whole game.
Why is Fleming keeping his job? Is the question.
He's actually played decent.
Where are these hog mollies?
Guys, I got to ask you guys questions.
Why is it so slow?
If Thomas is decent and Pert's been pretty good and Fleming is decent and Gates is going to how come we have the worst offensive line of football?
Break it down.
No, they're not.
Down this way. This is a really young offensive line.
And the tackle sucks.
Gates has never played center.
That's his problem.
And you have a rookie tackle, and you got young guys that need to mesh. They didn't have a preseason, so they're starting to play better against that Washington front that has how many first-round picks on that front 4? They gave up 8 hurries.
I think 4.
Oh, it's only 4. Okay, so even better. 4 hurries the whole game.
I'm saying 4 first-round picks on their line.
Oh, yeah, 4 first-round picks. And, Chase Young. I just want to put this out there, you Chase Young lovers. And I know Will is one of them.
Yeah.
Leonard Williams has more sacks than Chase Young.
Oh, my God. I should put Tim on the mute button. Where's that damn mute button?
Young was hurt and didn't play for 2 games, right?
I think he also has a much higher win percentage when it comes to pass rush rate.
But I just want to put there is he's had from what if I read up before the game, he had 8 pressures after his 2-sack game against the shitty Philly offensive line.
The stat I saw before yesterday's game was that Leonard Williams was an average of 4 yards away from the quarterback at all times. That was when he had the 1.5 or whatever.
Ask Jack why he wants to trade Leonard Williams at the trade deadline.
Well, I think it's
that? Is somebody shipping off to war?
Yeah, I know.
I got a text and it must have just vibrated the whole table.
You sitting on your phone again?
Yeah,
So why don't we trade Leonard? You think we can get a 3rd and 5th round pick for Leonard Williams?
No. We'll probably get.
Why not?
How about to look at a 3rd and 5th?
Well, now he's a free agent. When Douche Gettleman traded for him, he had.
Oh,
there's no way you get the same return on him. Zero chance.
Why is he a free agent? Why couldn't they come to an agreement on a long-term deal, and this way you could have some trade value?
That's why I want to trade him. I don't feel like paying him that money, and I'm fine with shipping him off for a 5th round pick.
Oh my God!
But the dude's good. He's on pace.
The guy's good. I know. Take away the trade. I understand it was a bad trade.
Yes,
Leonard Williams is playing well, and he's just getting into his prime.
He's
only 25. He's only 25.
The problem is he's going to be $16 million a year, and we need so many other positions more than interior defensive linemen.
Right. If they pay them $60 million a year next year, then
that's
shame on whoever the hell the GM is.
Especially if he finishes with 7-8 sacks, he's getting $16 million a year.
Yeah,
there's no doubt.
Oh my God, I just hope that it's not Gettleman giving it to him.
But
that's another problem is the trade deadline coming up. And our GM that's supposed to be fired by the end of the season is now in charge of this. I don't know how that works out in any way.
I'm pretty sure he knows he's on the hottest of all hot seats, and
I know what I would do if I was
He has to get everything approved. I don't think they're gonna let him just like.
You would assume so. You would hope.
He should be adding assets and draft picks, not players.
You would hope so.
A competent GM would see that we're 1-5. Maybe we are in the worst division of football of all time, but you should see the direction of where the team's going.
So wait a minute. Let's assume for a second that that free agency don't take that into consideration for a second. If the Giants had the 7th pick and the quarterbacks and Sewell were gone, or let's just say Lawrence and Sewell were gone,
Okay.
Marco, what would you do? Would the first thing we'd all try to do be trade, so we can get that out of the way, or no?
I would probably, if the other quarterbacks were on the Fields is still there.
Fields is there.
I gotta think another team would want a quarterback.
Oh well, that's the other thing is where the Giants could luck into Sewell is if the Giants pick 4th and 1, 2, 3 is Jets, Washington, and Atlanta or Jacksonville, you've got a chance for 1, 2, 3 QBs. The only awful team, the only bad team this year that would definitely take Sewell would be Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Other than that, he could drop a couple of picks. And I'd be thrilled. I know, again, unless it would be a kind of a weird thing, though. Let's say Thomas just kind of finishes off kind of mediocre and we're kind of feeling decent about both guys. To me, you still take them if you can because I'd rather have a great than a decent. But
Brandon says Jamar Chase from LSU, right? Chase.
Well, let's say what would you do with the number 7 pick with the quarterbacks and Sewell off the board, Marco? If you couldn't trade.
If I couldn't trade?
Yeah. Where do you go?
Maybe the biggest need would be wide receiver to take someone a big
Chase
number 1
or
target.
Waddle?
Yeah.
Tim?
I mean, I'm not big on taking the wide receivers that high.
Yeah, right.
And I'm a defensive guy. I would love Patrick Surtain, talent wise, would solidify the 2 spot, and we'd have Bradbury for over on the other side. Not to mention Ryan Lewis has played well. Logan Ryan, there's no guarantee he even comes back to us next year. So, and we still got Darnay Holmes. Hopefully he steps it up. But I rather solidify that 2 spot because that's where they're killing us on defense. Right, it's not on Bradbury's side. It's they keep going over the top on the 2, going at the number 2. So I think Surtain would solidify the defense, and I think you can get a wide receiver in the 2nd round.
And not address the O-line?
I don't think Sewell, if he's there, you take him. Period.
Yeah, but he's not
because he's a can't miss player.
Yeah,
but he's not in this scenario. So
but he's not in that scenario, so I'm saying take the corner, take the wide receiver. As far as offensive line, you maybe be able to pick up a free agent, like a free agent center. But I'm saying you stick with the tackles. Were you going to give up on both of them after 1 season?
Only if Sewell is there do you replace a tackle, probably.
And in this draft is supposedly deep with interior offensive linemen.
Yeah, but the funny thing is there's none in the top 15.
Yeah, but it's deep. So it's deep, so that's why we can wait.
Jack, what about you? Well, if you had the number 1 pick, you would take a corner. I know you.
I'm pretty much on Tim's side. Well, no, there's one more player that I might take over Surtain. That's Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
It's hard to disagree because it's a valid point.
I hate taking receivers 1 in the 1st round. I hate even more taking them that high.
Yeah.
So I know offense is the most important, but unfortunately it's just the way the draft falls. I mean, why pass up on a blue chip defensive player and hope
this is
you take a tackle
in the scenario we couldn't trade down.
Right.
The tackle and the corner, the tackle and the and the quarterbacks
QB
are
are
all gone. So,
And if I'm not taking Sewell, I'm probably not taking a tackle in the second round. Probably no matter what.
I don't think Logan Ryan's that bad.
He's not.
Maybe
well, he only signed a 1-year deal too, so who knows what he's going to try to get next year.
Yeah,
he's also more of a safety now.
Jason mentioned in the comments. He mentioned the Gregory Rousseau.
Yeah, from Miami.
Said to me,
the problem is he had 1 good year.
It scares me so much because
trash.
The guy was not even a huge pick out of high school. He goes there. He doesn't play in the beginning of his career. Then he's a redshirt freshman. He has one great season against the 73rd ranked schedule in college football as a redshirt freshman, and then never plays football again. And you're going to take a kid who had a great few weeks, basically, a great 2 months at 19 years old for the first time in his life, and be like, all right, that's the top guy. Now, maybe he turns out to be unbelievable, but I just think he's 6'6". Maybe he got some. I don't know. Maybe he was just able to dominate again. The competition Miami played when he was playing there was not good. It just scares me. And you know, I am Mr. Edge. All I ever say is Edge, but it would scare me to take that guy.
Well, that's what this draft is going to be.
There's a lot of love for Parsons in the chat at the moment.
Well, I don't think what people realize, and I don't know how much you guys look into PFF grades. I kind of am in between of liking it and disliking it, but he graded as a 91 pass rusher, Micah Parsons.
But what's his deal though? Is he like an outside backer who's like an edge on the pass rush? Is he like an inside linebacker?
Everything I've read is he's literally either or. He's graded a 90 in run defense, pass rush, and coverage. So he can be the linebacker alongside Blake Martinez, or if they want to push him on the outside and be that outside linebacker that rushes the passer, they're saying he can do both.
Yeah, but how's that working out for my buddy Isaiah Simmons? Let me brag for the next.
Well, he
20
wasn't
seconds.
a pass rusher.
Let me brag for the next 20 seconds. The two guys that I said, oh, great athlete, but let's see how they do it in the pros. Isaiah Simmons and Clavon Hasan, and both of them so far have been terrible and hardly playing and everything. And I just want to say thank you very much. It is early, but then again, I said Thomas was a very good pick, and we'll see how that turns out. But anyway, by the way,
I want to know what Isaiah Simmons is doing in practice to get no PT whatsoever.
Well, he's doing backflips and doing the shuttle run, and he's doing the pole vault. You know, he's a great athlete, the guy. Jack, you look like in sepia tone. You look like the beginning of you look like the Wizard of Oz before Dorothy got to Oz.
Yeah, I don't know why I have.
He's showing off his man cave in the back. He's got is that the Hitman? Is that Don Mattingly, the Hitman?
Yeah, of course it is. I got what is it? I got the flip play right there.
The Jeter flip play.
What
game was the Jeter flip play from, Jack?
Mickey Mantle rated play ever.
Auto.
What game was the flip play from, Jack?
What does that mean? What game was it from? Against the Oakland A's?
Yeah, what game was that? What year? What game? What series? What was that?
I can't remember what year it was. I'm not.
Mike A.
Why do I need to know that?
It was Game 3 of the 2001 ALDS.
Yeah. I knew it was the playoffs. I knew it was the A's. That's all I need to know. I remember watching it.
Yeah.
Mike A.
The year they didn't win. My bad.
Mike A. Parsons.
You have it up on your wall. I don't.
We got Parsons beat all over the field guy, Giants fan since 1983, Penn State grad in 1998. That's from Mike.
Well, Mike is. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying Parson was a Giants fan since 1983. I'm like, how old is this guy?
From Hot Dog, thoughts on Nick Gates? I really like him. Oh my god.
Defer to the PFF grade. He's like the worst center in the entire NFL.
There's one more that's worse, apparently.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. So, Giants, are we rooting for the win? Are we kind of just watching? It just kind of sucks.
I'm rooting for the win. I'm definitely rooting.
I always root
beat
for
Philly.
the win.
Let's beat Philly.
Now that there's no Trevor Lawrence, I'm rooting for the win.
I didn't even think we were ever going to be in the running. The Jets are just that bad.
Well, I didn't know if we were going to win either.
Guys, don't forget though. Do you know
we had a few wins in us?
No. Off the top of your head, maybe I was going to say even without really thinking about the actual number, just like off the top of your head, how many wins did the Jets have last year?
7.
Was it? I thought it was. Yeah.
So I thought it was like 5 or 4. They won 7 games last year.
Yeah, they
Is
finished.
Jamal Adams that big of a
They-
deal? Like what
They
happened?
They had the easiest schedule at the end of the year I think I've ever seen. Ever.
But they weren't an 0-16 team last year. No matter who they play. Like this year, even if they had the easiest schedule, they still aren't winning games.
Mhm.
Somehow
What the hell
Adam Gase
happened?
got worse.
My God, it's crazy. So
Matthew Grimaldi, we have so many holes on this team. We should trade players off now. Ingram, Tate, Peppers, etc. Try to trade down, get as many picks as we can. I don't think people are going to,
ETC.
I want to keep Peppers, to be honest with you.
etc., etc., etc.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was like initials for a player. I'm like, what is that?
ETC. You know, we got OBJ, we got ETC.
He's always in there.
Quick, guys, quick.
the
Let's think of an athlete with EC. Quick, a football player could have been EC. Eddie Collins is baseball. What do we got?
Oh, I don't have any. There's
Earl Combs is a Yankee.
Edward Encarnacion.
That's not EC at all. Is there no football player with EC? Eric. I don't know. I can't do it.
I don't know.
No.
I got nothing.
Maybe he did meet etc. I don't know. Earl Thomas's cousin.
Earl Campbell.
Earl Campbell.
Yeah,
There we go. There it is.
We should trade for him. I don't think any of those players have value.
Hey,
I would.
Is the Giants running game better without the Saquon Barkley guys?
I would keep Evan Ingram even though he's really pissing me off. Just because there's one more year under him, like Jones already needs weapons. Let's not take away weapons that are going to be there next year. Like Tate should be cut. So I'd trade him for
I agree with that.
a bag of dirt.
Yeah. Not going to get.
Yeah, but he's got that one catch in every game.
Tim, what was that?
And no more than 2 catches.
Yeah.
Will, what was that you were saying under your breath about? You think?
I just didn't know if the Giants' running game was better without Saquon Barkley, because I feel like Freeman's getting a lot of really good yards underneath that we don't really know.
Freeman's starting to play better. I agree with that, but I don't know about better.
In between the tackle running?
Yeah, that kind of thing.
It's sad. It's sad. It's sad that like once he kind of gets in the open field, everyone else just like it's the opposite of Bo Jackson and Tecmo Bowl or whatever. Like they all catch up to Freeman, but at least he gets into that second level. I don't know.
I don't know.
We just blame everything on Jason Garrett. How did the Giants offense go from being like 15th last year to 31st this year?
Do you know why? The one stat that I think you can tell that Jason Garrett is doing a poor job, and I know it's partially offensive line, but the Giants or Daniel Jones, I should say, has only thrown 11 deep balls all year. That's less than 2 a game.
What's a deep ball? Over 20 or over?
I believe so. I don't think it's 15. I think it's 20.
Oh, I was thinking 20 or more. Yeah.
No, I think it's 20 is the minimum.
Well,
you know what's so funny when everybody was saying he wasn't being creative enough, and all that stats started coming out. So then against Dallas, he's running flea flickers and double reverses, and the guys are bobbling the balls because they like barely practiced it. Remember Evan Ingram comes around the edge? He's like, what's this? 5 minutes before the game, Garrett's like, "Here's what we're gonna do: the annexation of Puerto Rico from Little Giants." Hold on. Yeah. Did you hear? By the way, how great is this Dallas players chatter anonymously coming out ripping on their coaching staff? Have you guys heard this?
Amazing.
6 games in.
Wow, it's awesome, dude. Who's winning the NFC East? Is it the Eagles?
Giants.
I would say so.
I think so. I think the Eagles.
I think once they get healthy, they'll probably just run through the rest of the NFC East.
We're gonna find out Thursday what Philly gets Lane Johnson back, Deshaun Jackson. We'll see if
they're still missing like 6 other starters though. It's still rough.
From Hot Dog, who your guys' ideal GM candidates?
I would say the kid who created the annexation of Puerto Rico from Little Giants. Yeah, the computer folk.
That's our offensive coordinator.
Best deal coordinator. I don't know any of these guys. You guys like Riddick?
No.
No, he wanted to draft Dwayne Haskins when we had the 6th pick. By the way,
All right,
that's a
forget
fact.
that.
Yep.
I nominate.
You know what?
That's what he said.
I
Maybe
like
he lied.
Elliot Wolf. Elliot Wolf. He's
Yeah.
working with the Patriots right now. He's Ron Wolf's kid, so he's been around it his whole life.
The
That's
only
who I
one,
would
and I don't really know my top candidate, but I've been hearing a lot of what is it, Kevin or Caden Abrams.
Yeah, that's
more than likely that's going to be the GM. More than likely.
the hot candidates are Cassiro from the
Patriots.
Ed Dodds from the Ravens, I think.
What is Cassio's current job though? GM?
GM of New England.
Player person.
Why would they let him go?
Because he wants to. No, he's player personnel for the Patriots now.
Well, isn't Belichick part GM
Yeah.
for Patriots? Isn't that how that works?
Look at that hair. Not good.
So I have a question, and I have 2 other friends that are very anti against this. Do you guys think it's horrible that we're going to have a head coach already and no GM? Do you think that's a horrible process?
Yes. I
Like
think
Marco was just talking about this last week.
I think when you fire the coach, you have to fire the GM. I think they should come as a team.
I don't
What about
see.
wait. When the coach,
I
when you
just
fire
think
the
that
coach,
makes
you have
it
to fire
easier.
the GM, or the other way around, Marco?
Either way. When they fired Tom Coughlin, they should have fired Reese at the same time, because now you're mixed matching GMs without their perfect coaching candidate.
It definitely makes it harder, but I don't think it's make or break. Like people are talking about like it's make or break.
There are cases where it's worked, but
Yeah.
you're gonna have a
Buffalo. It's worked. Buffalo
Right.
did that.
It is going to be hard. I get that, but I don't.
Then you have like the Jets. Now they're 3rd GM, 4th coach.
We're not the
I
Jets.
think it's better if you can do a clean sweep, but it might not always work out that way. So if you start to see that the players respond to Judge and you like some things that he's got going on, and by the end of the year, they win 2 of their last 4 games or something, or pull out a big upset win, and he's got a real good handle on the team, then you don't just say, "Oh, Gettleman sucks, so let's get rid of this guy that we're excited about." Like, it doesn't make sense.
Oh, correction. Yeah, Dodds was the assistant to the GM of the Colts, not the Ravens.
Assistant to the general manager, George Costanza.
Yes, and Casserole has worked with Joe Judge in the floor. Everyone thinks they have a relationship, but they probably do.
Like a,
like,
like a. Well, then bring him. We don't want that in the workplace.
It's 2020.
The Pope said let it rip. Okay, Pope said let it rip. Okay.
Yep, go for it.
I missed that. I saw the Pope trending. What did he say?
Sports gay couples.
There you go. He's into civil unions. Hopefully not Abrams. Yeah, with Abrams, apparently he was the cap guy.
Well,
he's known for being one of the best cap guys in the league.
And now he's talent evaluator as well.
Apparently he was the only one in the Giants front office that wanted to blow it up in 2018 when they took Barkley.
Oh my God.
Hey, Xavier McKinney's coming back soon.
When?
Not really, but he'll be back.
Right.
Like, that's in addition to the team we forget about with the defense, Tim. Another reason you got to take draft offense.
I talked to you guys about that before. The secondary was hurting, but McKinney's supposed to be there, and DeAndre Baker was supposed to be there. But you know what? Ryan Lewis and Logan Ryan, they've been playing better so far.
Ryan Lewis has had some good praise from some people. And, Pert had like the highest grade of any offensive lineman in history this past year this past week over 25 plays. He was like a 91. He was like rookie of the week.
But did you guys see that screenshot though? It's Daniel Jones running and it's like four defensive players.
This is the funniest thing.
And the whole offensive line is behind all of them.
Yeah.
And someone just tweeted out. They just wrote Dave Gettleman.
Pretty sure Andrew Thomas is on the field for that one.
It was so funny. And by the way, people trying to say Andrew Thomas was only benched because he missed a meeting, and that's why he didn't play in the first quarter. But there was a play where he let Sweat get right by him and make a tackle in the backfield, and then next play, Pert was in a left tackle. So
I'm fine with Judge running a team like that.
So am I.
Make people accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
That is the Giants' season.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's break
In a
that down.
nutshell.
1, 2, 3. Daniel Jones. All
Not my guy.
basically.
Not my guy.
Yeah.
When did they
how
play?
did
The bigger
how did they
question is
get like
when did they
that?
play? When did they play the Chiefs?
Yeah, it does look like the Chiefs.
Even the ref was like chasing Jones, and then the person just writes
But
Dave Gettleman.
by the way, how many people did you hear today that Washington football team is going to stay Washington football team next year?
Do you think it's
Yeah.
just going to become a thing because it's unique, like the New York Football Giants or something? They're just always going to be the football team.
I think it's horrible.
I think they're going to change their name to the Dwayne Haskinses or the Chase Youngs.
Adrian says, "Will the fantasy gods punish me for playing the Eagles D tomorrow?" As I'm a Giants fan. Oh,
Yes.
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 The only person here who plays with those kinds of spirits is Tim.
Yes.
Tim's already hexing you.
You already lost, so just don't even look at your scores.
Yo, what up? I was wondering if you were gonna.
All right, guys, I got a little.
What you guys think about Jabal Shareed getting
Tim.
signed?
It's going to add some depth. I think I think he's in his 30s at least. I know that, so he can't be anything great.
Tim, you got a personal request. Yo, what up,
Oh,
Big
dude.
Tim? I was wondering if you're going to Sydney soccer game on Sunday.
To who?
Sydney soccer game on Sunday.
That's my screen as Will Prestesti. Prestesti.
Ready? Is that an inside joke that I'm not aware of, Tim? Yo, what up, Tim? Big fan. I was wondering if you were going to Sydney soccer game on Sunday. He might be there. He might be there.
Yeah, I might be there.
So I saw on Twitter PFF drafted that as of right now the Sewell to the Giants at number 4, and a lot of Giants fans were kind of complaining about that. So then I just wrote, I get your reluctance to draft another tackle after getting these 2 guys, but the offense is terrible. If you have a chance to get a guy that's supposed to be this good, do it unless Thomas and Pert become really good by the end of the year. And I got a guy who just wrote back to me. He said, so we need to give the quarterback time, but we shouldn't give the offensive tackles time. The difference there is if an offensive tackle screws up, it screws the quarterback, and the quarterback can't do his job. It's not really the same the other way around. A tackle is judged based on how they are as a tackle. A quarterback is affected by what the tackles do, right? Give me some ammo so I can go back at this guy.
Oh, I'm not.
Well,
ready
I can't. I believe in the offensive linemen need time. I believe in that.
Well, I think it's the same thing that if we had the number 1 pick, we're taking Trevor Lawrence. Sewell is the best tackle people have ever seen as a prospect.
I totally agree.
Now,
you take him.
If Sewell's not there, I'm not taking a tackle in the second round just because Thomas and Pert aren't that good yet.
Right.
Because they were drafted in the second round for a reason. It's almost like taking another Pert.
Right.
I might as well ride with Thomas and Pert and hope I can figure something out next year.
That's fair too. I agree with that.
Yeah, you take the blue chip players.
But if
you have that level going into the draft, you have that level going into the draft. Like, here's my blue chips. If they're there, that's who I take.
The Trevor Lawrence of tackles. You don't pass that up.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like you don't pass that up, even if you have Daniel Jones in his 3rd year. You take
it's
Trevor
crazy
Lawrence.
that the guy, he's only played 2 seasons. He's out in Oregon. I know they're good. It's not like they're like, a top 5 team necessarily, but they
He
just
was only 19 last year. It's kind of frightening.
He won the best offensive lineman in the country award, I believe, last year. As a true sophomore, I think.
Yeah.
And he's taking the year off, fellas,
I hate that.
to prepare for the pros. That's amazing. He's legit and he's had a couple of good years, but it's really crazy that like Rousseau or any of these guys, you could just go to a school, have a breakout like 7 weeks of your entire life, pull yourself out and become a millionaire.
Rousseau's genius because he's probably like, I'm not that good,
And maybe he is, dude. Maybe
and I'm
he's
going top
legit.
10.
When I hear 6'6" defensive end, I almost think too tall and guys can get in on you in a weird way. I know like there was like the Jason Taylor thing, but I know 6'5", 6'6" is like, what's the difference? But I'd rather a guy be 6'5", feel comfortable at 6'5". I feel like he's too tall and guys could get in on him at 6'6".
I also know most of his sack production came inside as a interior lineman, and I just hate that.
Yeah.
Like you're not even a true
Watch
edge
the guy
rusher.
become better than Chase Young ever is.
Jones hasn't had a good line since high school. Anyone see Jones play in high school?
Well, I just know he didn't have a good line at Duke, so it's at least partially true.
That's from Mike A.
I did hear about Daniel Jones because he's out with Charlotte.
His line in Duke was atrocious.
You did hear about him in high school?
Yeah, I've heard about his high school days. Well, he was a Charlotte kid, if I'm not mistaken.
There we go. Tim with the local knowledge over there.
Tim's up in the trees. He's got the binoculars. He's looking into Jones's house like this. He's seeing him. He keeps dropping.
There's a lot of
his hairbrush, dropping the soap, dropping his book bag. He just always just fumbling forward from a young age.
All right, so what are we prediction-wise? What are we thinking for number one? Let's get this out of the way. I can't believe we have one win, and yet we're one game out of the damn division, which is
we win this game.
Blows my mind.
Dallas loses. We're right in that. We're winning this division.
Oh my god!
I'm surprised Dalton has struggled as much. I figured he'd kind of be fine.
I figured that
I'm
too.
surprised too. I don't think the Cardinals' defense is anything to be afraid of.
Oh, by the way, I think we do have to recognize that our defense has been a little more porous lately. I mean, they gave up 150 points to the third string to the 39ers a few weeks ago.
The 49ers is the game. That's the one that
Dallas. I think the defense,
they're not top 10.
No, I think by the end of the year we should hope, they keep solidifying that. It's still a major improvement.
I think a middle of the pack would be
if they ended up middle of the pack. When's the last time the Giants had middle of the pack? Even when they made the playoffs in Eli's last playoff run, they were the 30th ranked. I mean, they haven't had a middle of the pack defense, the Giants, in over 10 years, right? I mean, they've been bottom 5 the whole time.
I thought their defense was ranked very high. That one year they went to the playoffs of the boat trip. Because that was the year
they did.
That was the first year they signed Olivia Vernon, Janoris Jenkins.
That's when Landon Collins almost got defensive MVP.
Yeah, I think that was the last year.
Were they good that year?
It was a fluke.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, they loaded up. He loaded up in free agency.
Yeah, we had all the free agents, and they were all turning it up.
What year was that? 2013.
Only the Giants can pick the tackles on the ball and pick the worst of them all.
Trent Brown has COVID.
Yeah, the Raiders had to send their whole starting line home.
So what were you getting at there, Marco? Because I got to kind of wrap it up soon. But what were you saying? Predictions for what, and predictions for what? Let's do it. This week, the season.
Predictions for this week against the Eagles. What do you think is going to happen? What's your score?
I know nothing about the Eagles. I haven't really been watching anything but the Giants this year. I've been busy with a lot of other things. So I might be a little – I just know teams' records, and I know the Eagles always beat the Giants. Not that it really matters, but where's the game? At Philly?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Carson Wentz is starting. Has he been healthy the whole year?
No.
Yeah.
He's played better of late. He's played better of late.
Because he sucked in the beginning, right? Everybody's ripping on him.
He's bad.
Yeah.
He's leading the league in interceptions.
I'll let you guys pick this week first so that I can gain a little knowledge on the subject.
We got an Eagles fan in the chat who's saying it's going to go 40-0. 40-0.
40-0?
40-0, yeah.
That's a classic Eagles fan.
I said I don't know what's a more unbearable back and forth to watch tomorrow: the Giants, Eagles, or Trump Biden.
I voted on that.
So what do you guys think, Tim?
They're both going to be a mess.
Tim, what do you think's happening tomorrow?
You know what? I'm saying 24-17 Giants.
Have they scored 24 yet in a game? Dallas game?
I think defense is scoring another touchdown.
Yeah, we scored 31 in the Dallas game.
Oh.
The defense is getting another touchdown. And you know what? If Darius Slade doesn't play, which I think he's hurt, I think Slayton has a big game.
I think they said he'll be good to go.
Yeah.
Well, then he's not going to.
Marco, what do you got for this weekend?
I think we're going to be let down. I think the Giants are going to take the L.
Score?
I would say 20, 28, 21. We're in it. We're not going to embarrass ourselves, but it's going to be a difficult one.
Yo, I got this baseball game on in the background. Every time I look up, there's a home run being hit. This is crazy. What's this?
Welcome to 2020 baseball.
It's only 6-4, but it must all be on home runs. So you're saying 20
like 28, 24, something along that line.
Okay, Jack.
And you had Giants winning?
No, Eagles.
Come on, Marco. You changed it last week. You changed the path.
I did.
You did. Now you're going right back down the tubes, huh?
I think so, my friend.
I'm also going with the loss because we really didn't even deserve to win last week, to be honest with you. The Redskins were just that bad. So I'm going 24-20 Eagles.
All right. I'm feeling out what you guys are saying, thinking a little bit about what I do know of both teams, and I was thinking to myself 24-17 Eagles.
Okay.
Are they that bad all the way around, and why have they been so bad? Don't they have some?
They're just banged up.
They have like six starters and they're hurt.
Yeah, they have no receivers.
They have no receivers at all.
The
problem is now Sanders is out for them. Like the Giants definitely have a shot here.
Yeah.
Well, they're 1-4-1. I hope we have a shot.
It's time to grab a hold of this division and win this thing.
The only division here is between Tim and the rest of the group.
It would be a nice win for Judge to get it in front of his family. His whole family and friends are going there. I didn't know he was a Philly native.
A tool, Jack.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know he was a Philly native. Yeah. I don't like him that much anymore.
I know. I heard Bavaro was like an Eagles fan his whole career. It killed me. Ertz and saying, "Oh yeah, Ertz is out." That's right. But what about the Giants, right? I mean, Shepard's out. Slayton might be out.
Shepard's not out yet.
Shepard's going to be in.
Shepard's coming back.
He's back.
He'll be out by the end of the game.
This is true.
Well,
this is true.
The last first half. I'm going first half.
Factually correct.
What else, Marco? What other predictions?
Philly has no offensive weapons right now at all.
They don't.
With no Alshon Jeffrey, no Zach Ertz. Dallas Goedert might be back.
Didn't we say that about San Francisco when I watched their fourth string tight end
run
up the score on us?
Yep.
Yeah, because Tim, what score did you predict? I think you gave the Eagles more points than any of us.
No, I went 24-17, just Giants.
Did you? Oh, my bad. Okay. No, I wasn't trying to break balls. For some reason I thought you said a higher score. All right. Well, if they have no one, we'll see. I don't know.
You know what? I'm putting my voodoo out there.
Don't waste the voodoo this week. Wait, do it on something really good. One of those pinnacle moments, maybe. Jack, you missed it. I don't know if you heard. He voodooed all Dak Prescott, and then Prescott busted up his legs. So we think Tim has powers now. So I told him to save it until the Jets get Trevor Lawrence, and then Trevor Lawrence that shit.
I have a question for you guys. If the Giants do lose tomorrow, do you think that fans are going to come more realistically being like, this is a pretty flawed team, we should start planning for the future? Or do you think they're going to be like, we're still only 2 games out of the NFC East, and if we have I think 16...
No, I think they'll come back to earth.
No, nothing will change. We're terrible now, and people think the same things that they always like. You always have the same fans that say, there's still a division on Twitter amongst people who still say, there's still arguments on this damn phone between Giants fans who go, yeah, that last win against whoever made a lot of big difference. Last year we got Thomas instead of Chase Young. And we go, how could you root for the Giants to lose every game they're going to be in? And we could always win. We could turn it around. There's those. It's like Democrats, Republicans. They're never going to go.
But the
Well,
thing is, you can't.
If we
can't
do
root for the
win,
Giants to
it'll
lose.
create a lot of false hope because they're
Forgetting
still not that good.
Forgetting them for rooting. I'm not trying to get. I guess I took it to it kind of a different
I
place.
think but you
It's-
know what? I'm all about it.
If they lose,
Joe Judge changing that culture. It's the
If
only
they
way it's going
lose-
to happen if we win.
if they lose this week, the people who think they could still make a run at the division are still going to think it. If they're thinking it now, after we won, a 1-point game on the last play against the Washington football team,
Super Bowl run.
it's not going to change. That's the deal. If by this point, it's like, again, I hate to keep bringing up
All we
politics.
have to do is get in.
If you don't know who you're voting for by now, like, what's going on? If you don't know by now that the Giants are bad and need to plan for the future, you're never gonna think that. So no one's mind is being changed after this week, in my opinion.
Fair.
Yeah, oh man, I hate
Peeny swell. Penis swell.
I know. I hate the season so much.
Yeah. I was gonna say at least something. There's not much at least.
Tired of rooting for losses. I
The
just can't
defense.
do it anymore.
Bradbury, Martinez, the acquisitions, they're good. Our best players on defense, it's all the Gettleman guys, which is kind of what I say. It brings in the good players, not the right players, whatever. But we got a good interior defensive line. Bradbury's been great. Martinez has been great. We're getting Xavier back. I think I read like a month ago he was due to come back in like mid-November or something.
Yeah,
I think it's November. If
I
he
think
it
does
was
come
like
back.
week 8 or 9.
I was saying to Jack earlier, realistically, your hopes is just that by the end of the year he's starting and not noticeably bad. Because it's hard enough to learn a new position, to come into the NFL as a rookie. Then if you're going to sit out for 3 months, physically and mentally, if by the end of the year he's starting and he's just not a blemish on the defense, I think that's a good sign. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly he's taking mental reps every day. He's in the room with everybody, learning. But
at least
I'm with you. With this young team, all I want to see is improvement. That's all I want to see: improvement and effort.
Yeah,
and right now they're fighting for Joe Judge and they're not quitting on him. So that's huge.
At least,
especially when you see Dallas, who has actually one more win than us, and that locker room's already blowing up.
That's what expectation will do to you. But at least the rest of the NFC sucks. We went from the beast to the least.
Do you think? I know, right? Do you think McCarthy would, if Dallas continues the way you are, you think he's going to get canned?
I think it's a possibility because Jerry Jones will do anything.
He could just blame Zach.
Yeah, they just keep on losing. Yeah, he's gone.
If the players don't like him, like Jerry Jones is gonna be like, "F this, start over."
He couldn't fire Jason Garrett for how long he was going to get rid of him as coach in 1 year.
Yeah, he's crazy.
We need to sign a center. We need to draft Penis well.
Mm-hmm.
If we can. If we get that 4, we land in that sweet 4 spot. That's the good thing. The Giants' schedule is so weak that if they do win 4 games, they're going to be at the top of that 4 thing. You know what I'm saying? Like right there, they'll get that instead of like the 7. In my head, to keep myself happy, I'm thinking we get Sewell at like 4. We bring in a solid center. We have Pert and Thomas fight for the right tackle spot. Somebody becomes a backup right guard for Zeitler for when he's gone. You draft in the second round a top wide receiver. You fill out the rest of the draft and free agency with corner and edge rusher, and you're looking at 8 wins. That, I think, is best case scenario. Look at me having positive spin. What's going on, fellas?
Yeah, that'll change tomorrow about 9:30 p.m.
I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna text you probably tonight and be like, "The Giants suck. Did you hear this guy's not playing?"
I totally regret everything I said in that pod. They stink.
No, but if that all happened, I think that would be the best case scenario. If you miss out on that, who do you draft? Do you take a D guy? But hey, if I'm gonna rest my laurels on something, if I'm gonna be happy about something, at least the Giants, who are a defensive franchise, have at least an average or at least a serviceable, respectable defense at this point. So That's what I have to say.
It's fair.
I don't want to be talking about the draft, but this is what it is.
It's sad.
When you have one win halfway through the season.
I never cared about the draft. It's Seahawks fans don't care about the draft. Patriots fans don't care about the draft. I never cared about the draft. The fact that I care so much is not a good thing.
No.
Tim,
Yeah.
you have a soccer game Sunday with Sydney.
Tell Sydney I know what's up.
Yeah.
Will, thanks for jumping back on. Jack,
Awesome. Love you guys.
Thanks for having me.
Everyone, peace out,
No
and I'll
problem.
talk to everyone later.
Later.
All right.
Later.
Go Giants.